Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Anupma Biology classes. In this plant physiology series, today our topic is guttation. This video is taken from CBSE class 11th, part 8 of chapter 12. Now, let's see here the lecture overview. So in this video, we will discuss about difference between transpiration and evaporation, factors affecting the rate of transpiration, transpiration and photosynthesis are compromise, guttation, and difference between transpiration and guttation. Now, let's start the video. Here, our first topic is difference between transpiration and evaporation. At first, see here the introduction about the evaporation and transpiration. Evaporation is the movement of water to the air from sources such as the soil, canopy, interception, and water bodies, while the transpiration is the movement of water within a plant and the subsequent loss of water as vapor through stomata of the leaves. Now, the main difference between transpiration and evaporation are transpiration is a physiological process while the evaporation is a physical process. Transpiration occurs only in the living plants while the evaporation occurs both living and non-living bodies. In case of transpiration, it is the loss of water from the free surface of cells, while the evaporation is the loss of water from the free surface of water. Transpiration is the process which is influenced by both external and internal conditions, while the evaporation is the process which is only influenced by external conditions. Transpiration is comparatively slow process, while the evaporation is the faster than transpiration. So this is all about the difference between the transpiration and evaporation. After this, now what are the factors which affect the rate of transpiration? So there are two types of factors. First one is external factors in which atmospheric humidity, temperature, light, wind velocity, atmospheric pressure and available soil water. And the second is internal factors in which leaf area, leaf structure and age of plants. Now, the first, that is the external factors in which atmospheric humidity. So, how can atmospheric humidity affect the rate of transpiration? The rate of transpiration depends upon the difference in the vapor pressure of the internal atmosphere of leaf and external atmosphere of air. If the outer air is humid, it will reduce the diffusion of water vapor from the intercellular spaces of the leaf to the outer atmosphere. In other words, the rate of transpiration decreases with the increase in relative humidity of atmosphere. The rate of transpiration is enhanced by lowering the atmospheric humidity, that is in dry atmosphere. Second is temperature. The rate of transpiration increases with the increase in atmospheric temperature. Rise in temperature increases the rate of water evaporation from the cell surface, opens the stomata and decreases the relative humidity of atmosphere. All these conditions favor transpiration. Now light. Light indirectly affects the rate of transpiration by opening the stomata and increasing the temperature. If all other conditions via water supply and leaf temperature etc. are adequate, light induces stomatal opening and darkness stomatal closure. Thus, the rate of transpiration increases in light and decreases in dark. Next is wind velocity. A transpiring surface of the leaf continuously adds water vapor to the atmospheric air. Once the immediate area becomes saturated, it reduces the rate of transpiration. Wind velocity removes the air of that area, which is replaced by fresh air and results in an increase in the rate of transpiration. High wind velocity sometimes decreases the rate of transpiration because it causes hindrance in diffusion and results in stomatal closure by lowering the temperature of transpiring surface. Next is atmospheric pressure. Lowering of atmospheric pressure reduces the density of environment, which permits more rapid diffusion of water vapors. For example, plants growing at hills show higher rate of transpiration, but this effect is neutralized by low temperature prevailing at the hills, with the result of transpiration is normal in the plants growing on the hills. And the last in case of external factors is available soil water. If the available water in the soil is not sufficient, the rate of transpiration is decreased. Under internal water deficiency, the stomata are partially or completely closed. Now, in case of internal factors, first one, that is the leaf area. By reducing the size of leaves, plant decrease their rate of transpiration. That is, like in xerophytic characters, larger leaves lose more water than smaller leaves. Now, in case of leaf structure, there are following anatomical features which reduce the rate of transpiration, in which the first one, that is the thick cuticle on the surface of plant parts. Next is wax, resin and suberin coating on the surface of plant parts. Compact mesophyll cells in the leaves. A reduction in the number of stomata and the sunken stomata. So these are the internal factors which affect, and the last one in case of internal factor is the age of plant. Rate of transpiration is slow at the seedling stage, maximum at maturity, and gradually decreases near the senescence. So these are all the factors which affect the rate of transpiration. Now, after this, transpiration and photosynthesis are compromise. So there exists an intimate relationship between the two plant processes, that is the transpiration and photosynthesis. Transpiration is the most important excretory mechanism in the plants, but at the same time it is not of much advantage as most of the water absorbed by the plants is lost into the atmosphere through this process. Humidity of rainforest is mostly due to this process, which maintains a kind of water cycle from the root to leaf to atmosphere and back to the soil. This water cycle helps to maintain a continuous supply of water to the leaves, which is needed for the process of photosynthesis. If water supply is reduced due to slow rate of transpiration, the photosynthesis also becomes limited. Thus, transpiration not only plays an important role in circulating water in the plant body, but also helps to control the rate of absorption of water by roots, upward movements of water and minerals through xylem, regulate the temperature of plant body by evaporating cooling. It has been observed that leaf surface sometimes cools 10 to 15 degrees. Supply of water for the metabolic process such as photosynthesis, respiration, etc. And the last is maintain the shape and structure of plant parts by keeping the cells turgid. So, the loss of water is more pronounced in C3 plants, that is the plant which perform Calvin cycle of photosynthesis. This loss of water has been reduced by evolution of C4 cycle in the C4 plants. We will study about the C3 cycle, C4 cycle and the CAM in the next videos, in case of photosynthesis in the higher plants. The C4 cycle is more effective in maximizing the availability of carbon dioxide while minimizing the water loss. A C4 plant loses only half as much water as a C3 plant for the same amount of carbon dioxide fixation and the synthesis of carbohydrates. So this is a compromise between a transpiration and the photosynthesis. After this, now guttation. So what is guttation? The process of exudation of the liquid drops from the edges of leaves is called guttation. Usually, it occurs through stomata-like pores called hydrathodes. Here you can see the structure of the hydrathodes. Exudation may sometimes occur from stem through the scales of the leaves and lenticels. It is the process by which fully turgid plants remove extra water. The cause of guttation is mainly root pressure. Hydrathodes are stomata-like pores generally present at the tip or margins of the leaves of those plants that grow in moist sandy places like tropoilum. Pores are present over a mass of loosely arranged cells which large intercellular spaces called epithelium. This mass of tissues lies above a vein ending. The xylem of a small vein usually terminates among the thin-walled parenchymatous cells of the epithelium. Due to root pressure, water is forced out into the intercellular space and flows out of the hydathode. So here you can see the vertical section of leaf showing the hydathodes. Now, what are the main difference between the transpiration and guttation? Transpiration occurs through stomata, cuticle and the lenticels, while the guttation occurs through the hydathodes in the leaves. Transpiration, here the water is lost in the form of water vapor, while in the case of guttation, it is exuded in the form of liquid. In case of transpiration, it occurs only in the daytime, while in case of guttation, it takes place either in the morning or during the night. In case of transpiration, the stomata of leaves usually remain open during the day and get closed at night, while in case of guttation, the hydathodes remain open whole day and night. In case of transpiration, water is pure and contains no salt, while in case of guttation, oozed out water is not pure and contains inorganic and organic substances. Transpiration, in which it takes place in all higher terrestrial plants, while the guttation takes place mostly in the herbaceous plants. Transpiration maintains the temperature of the plant, while the guttation has no relation with the temperature. In transpiration, root pressure is not involved, while in case of guttation, it takes place due to the development of root pressure. So this is the end of video in which we knew about the difference between the transpiration and evaporation, factors affecting the rate of transpiration, transpiration and photosynthesis, the compromise, guttation and the difference between transpiration and guttation. The next upcoming video will be on the uptake and transport of mineral nutrients in plants. So if you understand this video, please like and share it and subscribe to my channel Anupma Biology Classes. If you have any questions, any queries or any suggestions, you can ask in the comment section below. Thank you for the watching.